Greetings and welcome. This is Psychic Medium Roberto, and I truly hope you're doing well. I'm going to be looking at the wrong presentation. Oh, geez, okay, I got confused there for a minute. I've got slides in here from the launch of the book yesterday. True Crime and Numerology is available. I will leave the description or the link in the description. And let's just say, if you would like to unlock the potential of what numerology can do, please get the book. You will learn and get started. You will be on the way. Lots of breakdown on the grid, how to spot red flags, emotional flags, and all the formulas that you need to know to get you going, as well as a fairly in-depth look at the Gabby Petito case, particularly between August 11 to 31. Thank you for your time. The subject matter is of a mature nature and deals with true crime events. All cases are treated as alleged until proven in a court of law. And please note, this is for your entertainment, and all cases, as I said, are alleged until proven in a court of law. So we are looking at the sudden passing of Joshua Dean, and he was part of the recent, please forgive my terminology of process, but in Congress, and of course Boeing were being taken to task. Well, that is the perception. Another puppet show. And of course, during the Congress gathering, and we'll go deeper, it is believed that Joshua suddenly got ill and passed on, I believe, April 30, 2020, is it? 2024. So Joshua passed on April 30, 2024 to some kind of virus or medical, let's just say medical condition. And having read some of the articles, it smacks of, what's that show I just recently did? The guy's so healthy, he could actually be a fitness instructor. That case is going to come to me. Oh, yes. It was the British Secret Service agent that was found in a duffel bag. He's telling me now I've gone past him. Okay, give me 1 second. Gareth Williams, suicide or murder. Gentleman works for MI6 or involved in those cloak and dagger boys' rooms. Miraculously got himself into a duffel bag and then killed himself. So that show's available if you want to watch it, but we have the same situation here. And I think I just got my answer just by giving you that bit of information, because what's bugging me about this case, and let me just say, I've started the recording exactly how you're seeing the slide now. I was actually going to spend 2 to 3 hours just getting it ready and just be thorough. But of course, Spirit has other things planned. All right. He's believed to have passed from a medical condition. And of course, he had been giving testimony, and it's just, it's just shocking. In the case of Boeing, of course, they've been killing citizens around the world for years, but now that they're starting to eat within their own ranks, getting rid of people that have committed their skill sets, passions, for a sector of society that is reliant on air travel. Yet we have the people behind doors, and let me just also say, I don't believe it's just Boeing. There's other little companies involved, but we'll go deeper. The video that I watched said 2 weeks before that, so 2 weeks before, let's go back to the slide, let's go. 2 weeks before he died, which I've now currently only marked, I've marked those 2 weeks with the darker black blocks here. I've included some dates, and of course the Congress began on, or the hearing around Boeing, April 17. That's the green block. I hear some of you saying no surprise there. All right. Now, when I went over these blocks, the red block, April 21, I already had a feeling of that block, not when the text was there, but when I started. And it turns out that day pings directly on 15/6 on the day that he passed. The day Joshua passed has the exact same numbers as April 21. So there, for me, where the red block is April 21, for me is when the virus or whatever it was activated. Getting thumbs up. And by the way, Joshua arrived this morning early. John's been around. And I believe I said a post somewhere that John did tell me at the time of the first show that I did, where John was found having been shot and murdered. Since then he's been around, but he warned me at the time that there is going to be a second person. I said it's impossible. Would a company be that blatant? Are they that above the law that they can put $1 or $2 in the left pocket and get away with not only murder of global citizens, but murder of employees? So I'm now going to move on to working the slide. All right, here we go. So for me, April 21 is bingo of the big picture. We will go finite. The big picture, April 21, is where I believe the virus, now let me just say virus, or let's just, I'm going to put here, or I'm going to put 6 equals virus. Virus poison. I'm going to put virus poison, and by the time we get to the end, we'll know exactly what it is. In fact, I believe Joshua gave me the answer this morning. Through the nose. Aerosol, through the nose type situation, and I'll try to get more clarity on that, but that's what I've got at the moment from Joshua. Particles in the air, like pollen. He's shown me like pollen. And we'll look for it in numerology as well. So the 6 is definitely poison or virus that has happened here. Now, the reason why I'm saying that I believe it's not as we know it, and I'll show you the number that convinced me, is 22/4 is in play, ladies and gentlemen. 22/4 on April the 18th. April the 18th, we've got 22/4, industrial medical item. Industrial medical item combined with the 8 biological, 18/9 murder, moving the 8 biological into and creating the outcome 9, 18/9 murder, death. And I've just been shown, gentlemen, showed me 12/3 with a 3 outcome on the day. I think we got a bingo. And I'm not making light of this, ladies and gentlemen, but the hypocrisy that we are facing as a public, that if we don't like the outcome, we get rid of people. It's cheaper to get rid of people than fix the fuselage or the engine mounting, is what John is telling me. I wanted to be a pilot when I was growing up. That was like my number one, pilot. Imagine flying with Boeing. And that this is what it all started with. And there was a bit of irony in the 2.0. This all started with that navigation system or whatever. Little indicator on the outside of the airplane. One little, what do you call them? It's like it will detect conditions around the plane. And the preset code within the navigation systems was dipping the plane down. This is how it all started. So we've got what happened to we've got a 12-3 match, April 18, 12-3 match on Boeing. The direct match. And we'll get more confirmations. But 22-4, I'm actually going to put in the book I talk about 22-4. It is the most powerful, amazing number in the right hands. So, but in the wrong hands, we have global citizens dying. (22-4) industrial. Now, I have a feeling, and because of the 6 outcome, sorry, I should have mentioned this up front, because of the 6 outcome of Joshua's passing, I'm taking a medical perspective on this. So in other words, it's a crime. There's a crime, so there's crime. But I'm looking at from a medical point of view. Now, 22-4 is a medical, so let's just say 22-4 is building big things, big structures. If you want to take it on the literal or the physical, it is buildings, mortar, brick, buildings. Not houses, buildings and big establishments. So if you go on a microbiology level with this 8s around biology, you're looking at microbiology, not specks of things, but you're creating, it's weaponizing chemicals. Where have we seen this before in the past? Plenty examples. So in this case, we have a construct, biological, with a deadly outcome, obviously. And when I saw the 22-4 on April the 22nd, we've got problems here. And look at the imbalances of 8s. And conflicts of interest, 8-8. Well, not necessarily conflicts of interest, but we got people bumping heads here, man, in this context. Now, 8 also speaks to aero, travel, not so much travel, beg your pardon. So 8 speaks to engineering, mechanics, automation. It's a big, big number. And of course, the highlight is on Boeing because we are in an 8 year. And Boeing has the 17-8 in the year that it's born. 17-8, and what a surprise. I'm going to just mark that as green on Boeing. And this is also what I'm saying. There's a lot of numbers here. Take your time meditating on the numbers. Look around. See what numbers are around. Get familiar with numbers. Usual suspects. And then the rest is just matching like Boeing. 17-8, that is a critical position where it's sitting there. 17-8 is critical. It's like probably, I don't want to rank because every number has its purpose and influence, but where it's positioned. So 17/8, April 17, we all open our eyes to the beginning of the hearings. And who's it about? Boeing 17/8. 21/3. Oof, here's a good example. So this is, you will know in the regular crime shows, right? 21/3 is that abduction against your will number. But in this case, when you're talking about engineering, everything's got to be in unison, working properly. In other words, the outcome for Boeing 3 is about control, right? So, but when you have a reversal, 21/3, it's out of control. So yeah, we have a good example, and Joshua and John are not laughing at me, but laughing at me because John was explaining to Joshua what I do earlier. And I don't deal with personal stuff on anyone. It's not my place, or I don't need to know that. It's not my business or what I need to do. An injustice has occurred, a crime has been committed, and the perpetrators continue to ship us around the world, earning big money at the expense and deaths of global citizens. 21/3, now in red, out of control. So we got Boeing out of control. And here it is, 29 is about deaths. The 9 in the 2/9 is about deaths. And 11/2 unlawful. Now let me just say, and this is also pertaining to the Boston Bridge disaster, that although, because there's 8s around as well, right? And the reason why I'm telling you is because that date when that happened also has an 11/2 in the day. I believe it may have been in the day, or it's definitely in that date. So we can say in that case in Boston, the engine and the motor seized, or whatever the issue was. There was a mechanical failure, yes, but whatever. So that was in the 8s. But the problem is when you got an 11/2 included, there is no doubt that a law has been broken. So it's not about, yes, the machine broke, but there was a law broken. So in other words, what is the law around having that machine checked? Is that machine ready? Is that machine capable of doing the job? Is it still doing the job? Does it need a service? So yeah, we have Boeing 17/8 out of control because of deaths, which were unlawful because of their maintenance and practice history, allegedly. It needs to be proven in a court of law, and I'm just having fun today. So on the day of the hearings is exactly what this case is about. And, I started watching it because, of course, John was around. And I'm watching. And by the way, I'm still watching Catherine, and I'm recording this on May 4, 2024 at 06:53 current time. Catherine, by the way, has pinged on me twice this week. Twice. So we may be heading towards episode 7 on that one. Joshua's smiling at me. Such a lovely man. And this is with John as well. And we had this discussion. It's been quite clear, actually. Are we prepared to tell the truth, forsake our own lives to get people justice? And the answer is a resounding yes, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so the green block already confirms for us Boeing are in trouble, and this is all about Boeing. So watching the beginning, and I was watching, and it crossed my mind, and John kept on saying, I wasn't getting necessarily that Joshua was going to die, but I was getting that there was going to be another death. And unfortunately, when I started this morning looking at regaining or getting that information again, there may be more. There may be more. This is a serious situation for global citizens, ladies and gentlemen. You have bought tickets that have gone on Boeing. And we're in an 8-year. 8-year is going to focus on highlight mechanics, engineering. Is everything sound, working properly? If you, for example, if you've been meaning to take your car for a service or take an appliance for a service, anything mechanical, get it done, particularly when you're dealing with human beings. So April 17 focuses on Boeing. Yes, so April 18, now I'm going to switch. I'm switching. In other words, I'm only looking for medical information. I've given you the preamble. We know the story. Boeing is here. Corporate. Now, technically, there's nothing wrong with corporate, right? But by its capitalistic nature, makes it problematic because the capitalist would rather stand on your neck and bleed that last penny out of you and still say, come back for more. Here's some Voyager miles. Come risk your life with us one more time. Let's play chicken in the air. All right. I just took a small break for 2 minutes just to make sure I'm up to date with the charts and not working on a duplicate. I'm just doing this quickly. All right. Now, while we were off air, Joshua and John are reminding me. The question is, how did they transmit the situation to Joshua? 1. How did they transmit the situation that only impacts Joshua? Because you can imagine, if it is a spray or aerosol, it could affect other people, right? And we don't, I'll just use they, whoever they are. They don't want a whole situation where the whole hearing, anyone in the hearing dies, so they couldn't do it there or use aerosol situation. So I was given a hint. And there's a very strong possibility the method of transmission was they sprayed a door handle. That was the first message. So they would spray a door handle, and then I was trying to figure out what door handle. This was during this break now. Well, I had a few minutes break. Long story short, could they have sprayed his car door handle? It makes sense. He would typically be the only one to use that door handle. Remember, they got to make it specific. Can't be random. They can't have 10 people falling over at the hearing. Well, you never know these days. It's becoming debauched up there on the hilltop. Even the 15-6 on its own, it's a perversion. Things are debauched up there on the hill. So for me, the day of activation was, not activation, the day of delivery is April 18 for me. Because, of course, we have the 22-4. Now, why? So, I mean, as a random question, not a psychic thing. I'm also human. Sorry, let me just sort this out. Beg your pardon. What, like, for example, why did, if they knew Joshua Dean was going to testify, why would they have not done something before? I know it kind of feels obvious now. Obviously, they don't want to raise suspicion going in. But, I mean, hear me out. They knew he was going to testify. Or, oh yes, I did have this info. Ping on me. Was there a conversation this is what it was? And John is smiling at me. There may have been, and we'll have to go back. Okay, but let's just have a look here. There may have been a conversation between Joshua and they said, you can say maybe A, B, but don't talk about C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z kind of thing. And Joshua, trembling by the knees, he's human after all, agrees to the situation on face value in the 21-3 meeting, forced into a situation, however, because when I was watching as well, I was thinking, like, this guy is brazen, yo. Excuse me. And I thought, well, clearly nothing's going to happen. He's now put his face on camera. He's in Congress on the Hill. So everything was going to be okay, right? And John was telling me, and I wouldn't believe it. So day of poison situation, whatever that they is, and what did they do? Because when he got onto the stand or started speaking April 17 and so on, he changed his tune. Joshua, I believe, changed his tune because it's wrong what they were asking, obviously. And Joshua, I believe, is of sound character. There are many constructs in this human world that people can follow. And of course, not all sectors of society, or let's say most sectors of society, don't appreciate the value of psychics, clairvoyants, astrologers. But sure, we do this for entertainment purposes. Brought to you by necknotneck.com. All right. So what also bothered me on April the 18th is that 33, this is big corporation. Going to flag it red. This is big corporate. Now we also corporate here, 33 big corporation. And Joshua also they both just said now, talks about virus or organism. Oh, a host. Micro host, 33, micro host. And this journey of numerology has been amazing. And I encourage you, if you want. But let me tell you, it's better than playing bingo. All right, 12-3. Okay, so we've spoken about the 12-3 pings directly on Boeing. Lots of military vehicles flying around at the moment of the like. We are nearing our political, or we're in our political season. The voting is happening at the end of this month. So we have people being transported and protected. All right. So there we go. Sorry for the noise in the background there. April 19. Okay, so so the first crime scene is this sequence here, April 18 to April 21. And I'm just going to mark it in a different color here. So we've got two crime situations. One when they deployed the toxic whatever they did, but certainly of the biological nature, of the micro nature, and of the virus nature. You can actually, I did a show on David Kelly, and beg your pardon, let me just make 100% sure. I'm sure it is. It was one of my very first shows that I ever did. David Kelly, who was part of the weapons of mass destruction situation, was also found having committed suicide. Lots of poisons and things going around. Worth watching that show as well. Another British crime. Right, let's have a look here. So we've got two crime scenes. The first one is the deployment of the virus. Sorry, I'm just trying to, there we go. So I have to complete the table. Okay, so I've marked it all in orange, beg your pardon. Now that for me is what you would know as the typical crime scene, right? So April 18 is where I believe the crime took place. So therefore, April 21 will be the typical reflection day. John's very helpful, I must tell you, and clear. All right, so we've got April 21 blue block now. Now this will give a reflection of April 18, and that's why I believe this is the day. April 21 is the reflection day and summary day of April 18. But coincidence or not, we find that that same day pings directly on the day that Joshua passed. And I've just been shown that 33-6 again. How many times have we seen that recently? 33-6, orchestrated murder. Orchestrated, controlled murder. i.e., a plan was made to do this to Joshua. Premeditation. 22-4 on the human level. 22-4, a plan. And the 29-11-2 on April 17, whoever makes the order, they, based on what happened on April 17, made a decision, 29-11-2 themselves. It works both ways. There's the POV of the, let's say, the victim. Let's say that. I don't like using that word, actually. The person involved in the event, and then the other perspective is then the perpetrator. So you can get both perspectives of the good and the bad of what these people are doing here. But we have an orchestrated murder, 33-6 on April 21. There we got that famous 21-3. That is... Well, I believe Boeing is the most richest company in the world, right? It's like the most, it's the number one company in the world, right? I believe. I don't know. Whatever it is. I mean, I saw a video about Trump supporting them and so on, and connected to Department of Justice, not Justice, beg your pardon, Department of Defense. Phew, that was triggering for me, Department of Defense, sorry. Beg your pardon if you were triggered as well. And just, sorry, going back to, now having said that, but April 18, we got red flags everywhere here. April 18, 30, with an outcome 3, just below the 22-4, 33, multiple organizations involved. So let's say one would be they, the other one would be all the small theys that provide services to the big they, and then one other. And I've been shown a number who the other possibly is. I'm just going to draw but I'm going to have to do a bit of research on that. They're both, well, John is saying, and Joshua is saying, I've got the dates on another show that I did before, so I'll have a look quickly. I don't want to state the obvious, but there's a lot going on here. And I will be doing a follow-up show tomorrow, or the next episode, depending when and how you're watching it. If you're a replay watcher, thank you so much. I appreciate all of you. Love you all. Thank you for being subscribers, viewers, and members. Thank you so much. I just love doing this work. I will be doing a follow-up on Karen Reed next. I received an info dump from a local sleuth in America. So the 12-3, and we'll get there. Of course, it does ping on Boeing. So what I'm going to do for the rest of this element is just show you the biological numbers from April 18 to April 21, right? So, of course, notwithstanding, we've got the 8s, so I'm not going to... Okay, so you'll note on April 30th, I've got a block around the 2 8s. I'll do it at the top as well, because it is significant. We're in a biology year. Let's just see here. All right. The Christmas tree is getting lit up here. I'm just adding more direct pings here. The 34-7 and the 25-7. There's a difference, and I'll explain the difference. That 34-7 for me is problematic, by the way. 34-7, oh yes, sorry, I haven't, well, it's relevant now because I was working on it, but 34-7 is a hit. There's also a hit, 34-7, a hit. But in this case, so let's just say, let me give you an example. 29-7 is usually a hit, right? It's like an out and right hit. They don't care what the first responders find when they get there. 29-7. Or You'll in some cases you'll find that there's nothing there. That's what a 29-7 can do, right? But a 34-7. Now the 4 in the 34-7, the 4 is the body. Is the so 8. So let me explain. 8 is the biology, flesh. 8 body. 8 physical body, flesh, biology. The number 4 is more of a medical, where it is about the working processes of the biology. Okay? So in other words, they are going to attack the biology with a 3 micro something. 3 micro something. And also collective. Also collective. We have to go finite on this, because there's a lot of deception going around. Well, deception, as well as there's multiple things happening here. So on April 30, that 34-7, when I first looked at it, that's the number that confirmed a hit for me. That's not natural causes. 34-7 is not natural causes. So another number that alarmed me on April 30, all relevant. The 42-6. The 42-6. Now look at it from a literal point of view. You're breaking 4, getting less to 2 of a 6, which means, or the reversal is, say like in a positive sense, 24-6 is building. 2-4-6, it's going up, building, positive. 42-6 is breaking down. Okay? Caused by 6. So you got the 4 is the body, the processes of the body, breaking down. 6 is the human as well, but it's also the reason why the human biological processes are breaking down. And when you have a 15-6, which is a perversion, man-made, 15-6, man-made, 5 in the 15-5, human being interference. 5 there, human being interference. With an outcome 6. Pisses me off, man. So you can put in your media statement, Joshua is such a loyal employee. We knew he was going to testify. We supported him, and the strain and the pressure, and it must have affected him some way, shape, or form. Yeah, right. Okay, so that's the story here, ladies and gentlemen. That is technically the story. John actually said to me during, I don't need to fill it. When I got to April 21, when I was putting out the dates, he said, that's it, that's enough. 21 and April 30 is what I had. So I included April 22. See, there's that 34-7 again there as well. These guys were not messing around. Now, of course, and I've just been told in spirit, they couldn't apply a chemical or whatever they used, that there's an instant situation. Now, where do these microbiology nonsense come from? Aren't they weapons? When you're dealing with high grade 22-4, high grade chemical manipulation, biological manipulation, double eights, 33, April 1833, biological manipulation. The 33, weaponized. So, as clear-cut as Boeing would like to have it, it's not going to be a clear-cut, unfortunately for them, or fortunately for them, or fortunately for us. Global citizens traveling around the world, let's support they or them. So to round up, definitely virus poison on the scene. This was not a natural death. Now you can say, when in the sick years, when you died from a sickness of that few years, would be considered a natural death. It's not a natural death. When you've got a 15-6, there's an interference by humans. Let me just see. I did say, beg your pardon. April 19. So 31-4 is also a negative number in a biological human body anatomy situation. 31-4 also breaking down the body. The minute they got it to him, right, it was done for. It was working already, but I believe by April 21, where we have the 15-6-6, it was embedded. And we again have the 21-3. 25-7 is also in a negative crime situation, is not a good number. It's causing the death of an innocent person. 5 by humans. And by the way, I do give a nice blurb about what 5s are when you meet them in the book. So there we got 22-4. I'm so happy that I did the book. My God, but the last 3-4 days was intense. All right, 22-4. See, we got 22-4 plan, 26-8 biology. Gosh, you see, this is the beautiful thing about numerology. And of course, in the main, intuitive numerology, right? So the 26-8 in a biological medical situation, there's the 6, the poison. It's been transmitted to, there's like from can or to whatever the bloody thing is, from spray to human to 6 with an outcome 8. Biological, and unfortunately, and as we know, there's an imbalance. The body is in trouble. And here we have an imbalance of 8s. Now, we must look at the biology with numerology, because I don't know what it is. Well, I say that like I'm an amateur, but I'm still amazed, I must tell you. I believe I may have been I've concluded that I always wondered I might have been a doctor or a nurse in my past lives, one of them, because I'm strong on health. And yeah, we have this medical situation. And I believe I was a nurse in my past life. Let's see, female nurse, yeah. Let's see, let's just see, 34-7. See, 34-7, 16-7-7, it's like, it's over, yo. So, yeah, I'm going to leave it like this. Of course, and I shouldn't have to say this, but it's coming again. And we may have to fill up these blocks, unfortunately, at a later stage. So that's my take, unfortunately, on Mr. Joshua Dean. This was not a natural death. Definitely not. Definitely not. Definitely not. And thoughts and prayers to his friends and family and the colleagues, the good colleagues there at Boeing. Wow. Guess who I work for. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please stay safe, stay alert. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.